Well, ladies and
Thanks.
gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Camilita podcast. This is where you learn to live like a champion. On today's episode, I have got Mr. John Moran, and let me tell you who he is. He is the co-founder of Solutions 8, a top-ranked Google Ads agency. He manages, listen to this, 24 million in Google Ads spend annually and oversees 165 plus clients in Google Ads. Now, I really need to learn about Google Ads. So I'm so glad he's here today. John's previous experience includes 10 years of direct business and digital marketing consulting for companies ranging from small entrepreneurs to Fortune 100 companies. John has extensive qualifications in all aspects of full funnel digital marketing, which I want to learn about: design, content, paid traffic, SEO, you name it, tracking. He's done it. He is the author of The Ultimate Guide to Choosing the Best Google Ads Agency. Welcome to the Camilita podcast, Mr. John Moran.
Thank you so much. I'm very, very happy to be here.
John, for the average person who is complete novice as far as Google Ads and Google marketing is concerned, what do you actually do? I know Google Ads work, but what do you actually do that's different for your clients?
Yep. So I think one of the main differences that we have as an agency over what would normally be considered a Google Ads agency is we focus on a very specific set of goals, and it's not industry specific, it's client specific. So those goals could be what they call a ROAS, return on ad spend. Every dollar I put in Google, how many dollars do I get out? Normally it's 3, 4, 500% return on ad spend is where you focus. Those are for e-commerce. Right. For lead generation clients, it would be, what is your offer and what is the cost per conversion and how many conversions do you need per month? And it's not vanity metrics. So where a lot of agencies will focus on the company impressions and click the rate and impression share and all the other stuff. Those are good metrics to understand why or why not something's happening. But focusing on a very specific set of goals is really where this is going to be a make or break for any business, really.
Okay, let's talk about that. When companies come to you, firstly, what sort of companies come to you? And what are their specific goals when they come to you? Is it money? Is it traffic? Is it conversion? What is it?
Mostly it's conversions. So, and that could be considered a sale of a product on their e-commerce site, or it could be, a lead generation for a naturopathic doctor for their practice. Right. And so those are where we focus on. So like for a naturopath, it'd be 100 people called you that were actually a good quality call. We listened to every single call that we generate for every single one of our clients, and we have a whole team of people dedicated to doing that. So wrong numbers, disconnects, those things are all ignored, and we have to make sure that the person that's calling that naturopathic doctor, as example, has the purpose and intent of doing business with them. That's what we call or a form fill, or someone scheduling an appointment. Those would be all conversions that we would count. And then for e-commerce, it's simply just sales.
Wow. And again, clientele, is it just across the board? Is it there a specific client or everybody?
Yeah, it's everybody. I mean, there's very little companies out there and that's what I love about this business is there's very little companies that can't use Google Ads. We have one of our clients is the company that builds the LCD screens for the Abrams tanks in the U.S. Army. I mean, it's everybody. Yeah. So if you ever, and Google is a lot different than what I think people understand. There's 6 parts of Google now. It's search, shopping, GSP, YouTube, display, and discovery. It's not just like keyword bidding. Yeah.
Say it again.
6 areas of Google. So it's search, display, which is banner ads. It's YouTube. So Google owns YouTube, and so you can run YouTube ads. That's inside of Google Ads. Yeah. There's shopping, which is the shopping network. So you see all those like products that you can buy right off. GSP, which is Gmail sponsored promotions. You can do email marketing to a Gmail user without even having their information. And then it's discovery, which is actually, you've probably seen this. If you ever pull up Google, like the search console, search engine on your browser, and you start to scroll down, you see those stories now that are popping up. Yeah. Those are tailored to you, and you can place ads there that are really good for what they call top of funnel type of traffic. So introducing your brand.
Now look, I've heard the story. Google ads are expensive, and you're paying a lot of money for getting a click that may not even lead to a sale. What would you say to people who say that?
Well, you're probably using the wrong network then. So shopping, as example, we have customers that are in the most competitive type of industries you can imagine. Shoes, for example, we have a very, very, very large shoe company that is on there, and we pay about 80 cents per click. Now we're in search in like a big keyword bidding, which is what typically people usually think about, where they bid on like, best red velvet shoe, whatever it may be. That could be $8, $12, $15, $20 per click. But shopping, where people really want to go and purchase a product because they can see what the product looks like and know the price, that's under $1 90% of the time.
So it's just being really aware and working with people who know what the heck they're talking about. And not just going with somebody who says, I can do some Google ads for you and just take your money and just sort of spending your money, as they go along. Now, Google ads, we know they do work, hence the reason Google does it. And there's you see, this is one thing in which I hate, but I know it works. I go and look at something on Google, and every time I go online, that's the thing I'm seeing everywhere after that. I absolutely hate it. But this is what you do. This is what your company does. It targets where the customers, potential customers or clients are looking. How do you determine where people are looking? Is it based on, is it done through the cookies? I'm not asking you for your trade secrets, of course, but is it done through cookies? Is it done through just general search? How do you define that? How do I know that my hard-earned dollars are being spent well with your Google ads?
So Google, it's funny, Google has what they call 70 million demographic and psychographic profiles on every person that uses Google. And it is insane. I have a case study that I could share with you too. It's something that it's pretty interesting. In October of 2015, Google told a woman she was pregnant before she knew, based on her search patterns and what she was looking at online. Symptoms that she was experiencing, food cravings that she was looking at, what she was ordering. And so that was in 2015. That was 6 years ago. Google knows more about us than, it's a scary, scary, scary level. So as an example, if you were to look at a YouTube video of a person who is reviewing a product, and let's say it's a curly hair shampoo. If you look at a YouTube influencer who you follow, and they have this curly hair shampoo, and you watch, let's say 3/4 of the video, this is how scary this gets. Google says, okay, we automatically apply the captions. The reason why Google automatically applies the captions is because it can know what you are looking at on YouTube, to say they're looking at this video and it's talking about curly hair shampoo at least 3 times, and they watch more than 75% of the video. So now you have an interest in curly hair shampoo, and now you become a target. That's one of the millions of ways that it does that. It actually, since Google owns Gmail, if you said, hey, John, I'm looking for, a really cool blue hat. Google says, I've read your Gmail account. I know that you're looking for a blue hat, and now you become a target for a person that sells blue hats online. It is scary. You literally cannot hide. God. And what Google is not like Facebook's more of like who you are. Like, are you a 25 or 35-year-old, male, gender living in Phoenix? Google Ads is, what are you trying to accomplish? What are you looking for? What are you actively researching or planning? And so that is what is just so scary about Google, is it knows an audience even without you asking it to do so.
So what's the difference between hiring an ad agency like yourselves, or somebody like yourself who's an expert, and just going on to, Google has Google My Business and Google My Business. Oh, you can boost your ad right here. What's the difference between you doing it and us just doing it through Google?
Yep. So if you were to say Google My Business, for example, and you would launch what they call a smart campaign, that's what Google is trying to push for. There's actually, when a person goes to Google Ads, like ads.google.com, it actually puts you in a box of a very simplistic type of search. And at the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see a switch to expert mode. There actually is a button that you have to switch to expert mode and build it out manually. Yeah. But if you're going to do it on your own, what we see as a fallacy between using an expert mode and not, and using a smart campaign, is it becomes heavily what they call branded. So if you have a Google My Business, and let's say you're ABC Company, people that are looking for ABC Company, now you're paying for those clicks, and it says, hey, people are finding you online. It's like, well, I'm going to find those people.
Exactly. Anyway. Yeah, but they're not converting, they're not buying.
Exactly. And you're paying for the people that are probably, let's say, their 7th visit to you this month, whatever it is, if you're a restaurant. So with Google Ads, if you say, hey, I need to take people who are interested in X and change them into Y, Or I need to say that a person is 367 miles away from me in a different state that wants to buy my shoe. I need to find them and put my ad in front of them. And the best part about pay-per-click is I can show you a million ads, but if you don't click, I don't spend a penny. So if I'm wrong in my targeting, it's free.
Right. Okay. Right. I get it. I get that bit. I get that bit. That bit. I get. Oh, that bit I get. Now, what would you say to people who say Google ads are expensive? And what are we looking at ads? Let's say I'm doing a campaign and I'm launching an online course, for instance. Right? Okay, it's a digital product. It's not something people will just sort of buy and have to ship or anything. But let's say I'm doing a campaign for an online course. And I want to generate, I don't know, maybe $500,000 from this online course. I know I could over a 3-month period or 6-month period. You got to give yourself lead time. 1, what is the lead time? 2, what are we looking at ad spend wise? And 3, how do we know who to target so that I know it's 3 questions in one, but how do we know who to target so that they can see your product?
Yep, absolutely. So the first part about I want to make $500,000 and we need to give it lead time. One of the things we do is we push away about 60% of leads that we generate for ourselves. We spend $60,000 a month in Google Ads for ourselves. That's how we generate our leads for ourselves is using Google Ads. We'll push away about 60% of those because there's 2 things. There's a big sinkhole that people don't realize until they actually spend the money and say, oops, I found that sinkhole, which is we need to know our numbers. We need to know our numbers really, really well. How much net profit versus gross profit versus ROAS, and what's the LTV of those clients? Do you have other upsells? Do you have is it kind of one and done? Do you have it? Have you done this before? Have you had a name in the industry? So all of those numbers, we run a lot of research prior to saying like, yes, we think this is plausible. Let's go. So things like Google Ads, Keyword Planner, iEspionage, SEMrush, SpyFu. There's a whole bunch of ways that we could look at if we were going to run this campaign. What would it cost? And using these benchmarks, what would we actually develop as a lead? And so as an example, if you said, hey, I have an online course, is it currently selling now? And if so, from where? If it's organic traffic, what are those keywords that are being used and how many times those keywords need to be used? If we were to pay for that, would that even be plausible? You can have a sale a day on your organic traffic of your online course, but if it took you 1,000 people to sell one, imagine paying $1 for each 1,000 of those people, and you're only gonna make $100 now. Now you're losing $900 every single time. So there's a whole bunch of ways that we would have to actually identify, can this work? We run our contracts in 30-day increments. I can't trick someone into hiring me. So I need to know that if you do hire me, you're not going to fire me in 30 days because otherwise it doesn't do anybody any good. So identifying what is the cost of the traffic, what are some benchmark conversion rates we would need to hit for this to even be plausible, and knowing that we spend ungodly amounts in Google Ads per month. I know that with experience, I can say like, yeah, I don't think we're going to hit 9% on cold traffic. It's just not going to happen. It's going to be more like 2.5. And if that scenario, this isn't going to work. So it really needs to be identified. Now, if it does work though, we're a fairly expensive agency. We're $1,500 a month plus 10% of the ad spend. That's what we charge our normal fee. So what we have to look at is, can we develop more revenue at what they call the return on ad spend you would need in order to not only pay for ourselves, but also have a lot money left over. So we say if you sell product A, it's $100. We need to sell at least 30 of those to cover our fee. If you're going to spend 30 grand per month, that's easily doable. And now we build in our cost as a we should never be a cost center. We should be a profit center.
It's an investment. It's an investment.
Exactly. And we should be making more money by. We have a lot of clients that, I'll give you an example, 500% return on ad spend. They spend $10,000 a month. They make $50,000 per month. And we ask for 6,500 of that. That's the 1,500 plus 10%. Now, what that basically means is, okay, I spent, 16,000 and made 50,000. That's a winning proposition for a lot of
at the end of the day, they wouldn't have made the other, whatever it is, 34,000 odd if they hadn't spent the money anyway. They still wouldn't have made that kind of money. And then they also get the exposure, perhaps to sell other things that the company offers, because once a client gets to the website or gets into that landing page, then they might see other things that they want. So long term, the money that they could potentially earn is a whole lot more than what they've just spent.
Yeah. We have a company called Northbeam that actually tells us LTV out to 720 days by product, by variant. So I can say like, hey, if you actually sell this $50 basketball short, that $50 basketball short, it might cost us $40 to sell that $50 basketball shorts, but then this person buys 6 shorts a year.
Indeed.
So
indeed,
and so you're what they call just a CAC payback, and there's a cost of acquiring a new customer.
And they might be buying other things, you know, in addition to that sort of that one item. So I want to ask this question then, because this is really good. This is really good. I'm asking you some really tough questions.
Yeah, I'm loving this.
This is really good. So would you say then that client or potential client's success is dependent on influence, i.e., they already have some sort of influence in the market? Does it depend on the cost of the product that they're potentially wanting to sell? So let's say this is $25 compared to $2,500. They already have influence, already have a following on social media. You're kind of targeting those people through the following as well. And potentially that those people have got a big budget. What would you say the success is dependent on?
I would say the success is actually dependent upon the demand for what you have to offer.
Right.
So it's interesting. We have brand new companies that don't have social media, that only run Google Ads, that are very successful. Right. And here's the line of demarcation. Is it already an established industry, or are you pioneering a new industry? That's where this starts to become an issue. You can have a product that's, you know, same as every other competitor and charge $10 more and still be very successful, because in smart shopping, as an example, smart shopping is putting an ad in front of a person who's in that interest gathering phase, not Googling and seeing you and 10 of your competitors. You're getting to them first. So there's a difference there. But I would say that if you're saying I have this new widget that no one's ever heard of before, that no one has ever seen or wants, and I'm going to have, is there people looking for this to buy? That when you pioneer a new industry, you're doing outbound, you're doing YouTube, you're doing GSP, you're doing discovery, you're doing display. You're spending a whole bunch of money trying to develop the need for it, then you recoup the want. But that's very expensive and it takes a while to develop a new industry. But if you're selling something that people already know, you know, necklaces, hats, a wallet, a car. We sell for a ophthalmic equipment company a $35,000 digital refraction unit. Have you ever been to like lens crafters? I know you wear glasses, but you've seen the ones that are what they stick that thing on your face and it's like 1 or 2, 3 or 4. Well, they have a new digital one now that does it. The guy or girl just it clicks a button and then it does it automatically and calibrates it. It's a $30,000 product, but we have optometrists that want to upgrade their practice that are looking to see if they want to buy one of those, and we do very well with that campaign. So you can sell a $30,000 doctor equipment because there's doctors looking for it. It's an established industry. So that's where the line of demarcation is. If there's 90 billion searches a day on Google, and if all you're doing is simply just putting up a net and capturing that search traffic or that YouTube traffic for a product that you sell, and people already know what it is. That's the line of demarcation, I would say, is if a pass or fail. So
would you say then, if somebody who is a business owner is actually not doing Google Ads, they're not doing themselves justice?
No, I would say they're doing themselves a really good service of not being on Google Ads. Google Ads is, my opinion, where you would go to scale. So if you're making, paying for that traffic, traffic is going to be expensive. If you're, a doctor, your Google My Business and just local search traffic that's finding you organically could be more than enough. But if you say, but I have an all-on-4 procedure that pays me $50,000 and I want to get those people rather than just the people coming in for like a dental cleaning and maybe a root canal, I need to sell the all-on-4, like whole top and bottom sets of teeth, and that pays me $50,000. How do I get more people to that way? Yes. Then it's like, okay, now if in a 10-mile radius, anybody within 10 miles says all-on-4 local dentist, or, as an example, cosmetic dentist that does all-on-4, that's where you go to Google Ads to identify, attract a specific type of person or scaling. Yep.
So you've got some, and I'm glad you're sharing this. So for our listeners, some people are listening and they're like, well, I've got a small company. My company is just, starting off, and I just want to get my product out there, but I don't have a lot of money to spend. I'm not sure as to who my target market is. Do you, within your kind of coaching, because you are coaching them in a sense, where to spend their dollars and how, do you offer that as part of your offering? Yes, this could probably work for you. Oh, I don't think you should do this right now. I mean, what is the process? Someone coming to you and they're like, right, John, I need to make some more money. This is where I am. This is where I want to be. This is how much money I've got. What is the process when someone comes to you, whether they are a startup or a multi-million company.
Yep, we actually develop an action plan, and what we call action plan is basically here's exactly what we're going to do in order to get the result. And it goes in, it's like a 37-page slideshow that actually is custom built. It's not just like stuck together. It's built out before we would even sign a contract, because I need to get buy-in and understanding and agreements from the client. Otherwise, we're going to have a really combative relationship. It's just not going to work. Yeah. So we would say, like, if you were, let's just say, and I'll use the same example, a dentist, and I need to say, okay, here's what's going on. In your localized geography, you have 3 other competitors within 10 miles of your business. They're all running Google Ads. And now if we're looking for an all-on-4 procedure, these are the 15 keywords I would target, where it's actually about $25 per click. This is a very expensive competitive industry, and especially in localized geography. Now, if we got a 10% conversion rate, that means that every 10 clicks, I would get you a lead. That's $250 now per lead at $25 per click. At $250 per, let's say, quality lead, what would your chance of closing that be? I have a 20% close rate. I have an 80% close rate. You need to know your numbers, because if I give you a $250 lead, what are you going to do with it? Man, I don't even know if I can close that. This might be too expensive to start. You know, I mean, you're going to spend $250 to see if this is going to work for you, plus paying my fee. And then now, so, you know, there's some people that are like, you know what, I have money. I have the cash. I need to grow this way. So I need these people. I can make $50,000. I net $30,000 in profit from an all-on-4 procedure. I can pay $10,000 for one of these for one of these procedures. Well, great. Now $250 leads. You divide 10,000 by 250. 300 leads. You're going to make money. Oh yeah, this is definitely viable. So we walk through that exercise as to what I know is going to take place, and can this be possible and profitable for you? And then we have to see. You want to give at least 90 days. First 30 days, you're testing, then you're optimizing month 2, then you're refining month 3, and then you're scaling month 4, 5, 6. So you need to give it 90 days. So what I recommend though is a starting budget. Just anybody, you know, listening, even if you don't choose us as an agency, if you were going to do this yourself, don't spend less than $2,000 per month on Google. It's not enough data to find out if it's going to work for you. Because let's just use a quick example. I'm going after, let's say, 20 keywords, and they're $10 clicks. If I can get 1 click on those 20 keywords, I've spent a whole lot of money to get 1 data point 20 times. You're looking for trends and consistency and scalability. You're not going to shut off keywords or try new keywords after 5 clicks because it's not enough traffic. So you got to spend that money, you got to buy the data. Right.
And I mean, at the end of the day, you're saying that it's not just come to me and just spend 20 grand and let's see what happens. You're sort of saying to them as well, look, you need to know, as much as I need to know the numbers, you need to know your close rate, because at the end of the day, I could get the leads coming to you, but if you don't have anybody in the office that's going to close the sale, then what's the point in you coming to me to spend $2 grand minimum a month for 90 days and on the hope that you will get some leads and then have nobody in the end to close the sale?
Well, what's even more frustrating too is you're 100% right. And what's really frustrating is sometimes you'll see like we'll be in the CRM tool of the client and we'll see a lead come in. And then tomorrow it's like, oh, I called that lead. It's like, okay, on paid traffic, it's highly competitive. I'm going to click on one ad. I'm going to go to a page. I'm going to do something. And then I'm 1 back button away from 3 of your competitors. So if you're not getting back to those people within 30 seconds, they could already be, you're paying for those finicky people. Like, I want something now, and whoever answers first wins. Or you'll have a phone call come in and it'll ring for 45 seconds and the person will hang up. And it's like, I developed 3 phone calls for you today. It cost me $600. No one answered the phone. Like, it is unbelievable how there's so much money that not every time, but we have quite a few ex-clients, because we just disassociated ourselves with them happily. It was like shake hands, party friends. And so that, like, they would yell at me like, John, where's my leads? I'm like, you missed 4 calls today. I did. And it's like, oh my gosh, like, it's just throwing money out the window. You can make more money just turning off Google Ads.
So it's not just about the ad. They also need to have the support system in place when the leads come in. Otherwise, there's just no point in spending monies.
Or e-commerce, like digital products don't suffer from this, but you'll have a client that will have like a product that Google really likes. It's like, hey, I know an audience, I have a target market, I have a lot of people that are interested in this product, and they start to sell 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then it goes out of stock. And it's like, oh God, like you have 10 products, 7 are out of stock. My campaigns are now dying. There's so much to this that it's really growing a business rather than just running ads or sending traffic to a site. And so it's crazy.
No, I'm glad you shared that, because we could go on and talk for hours. I can tell, but we gotta close off. We can go another 4 hours. I didn't even ask you about your personal life, but there we are. I'm just so grateful to learn, about this whole process. And you're right, if they don't have someone to pick up the phone or answer the phone or to answer the lead that comes through, they don't have any money. But the opportunity is huge. 70 million profile Google has on us. Wow. But that number will stay with me.
Oh yeah, it's scary. What's funny is that Google told a woman that she was pregnant before she knew. The rule is that AI doubles every year in strength. So technically, that's like 12 years in AI years as how advanced an algorithm is getting. So it's pretty crazy.
And do you think the pandemic has amplified all of this a lot more since people were searching for so much more and they were all online shopping for 2 years almost?
Yeah, before the pandemic, we had like 67 clients, and now we have 165 clients.
Wow.
Just because everybody went inside and started searching for everything that they needed. The cost per click in Google Ads last year went up 283%. Yep. If you are a DUI attorney in Houston, you're paying $565 a click.
What?
For DUI attorney in Houston. Yeah, it's insane. I don't know why. Apparently Houston has a lot of drunk drivers and get in trouble a lot. But plastic surgeon in Orange County is almost $1,000 per click right now.
My gosh.
Yeah, it's crazy. So it can definitely be really expensive. And but that's the thing too, is if you're going to make $1 million off of a plastic surgery client over the next 10 years, you'll pay $500 to $1,000 per click for that. So it all is industry dependent. It's really crazy.
Yeah. So one last question though, before we close off, and before I ask you how people can get in touch with you. Now that people are sort of going back to normality, some kind of normality, do you see the ad spend going down? Do you see things shifting slightly? Or
I was gonna say yes until Facebook imploded. Facebook, there's a big shift that happened this last 3 months. Facebook went to basically kind of guest targeting, guest converting. So what they say is Facebook lost the ability to see if a person is converting on a website from iOS 14.5 and iOS 15. So a ton of people are abandoning Facebook as a marketing platform and running to Google. Right. So even if the pandemic didn't happen, this is still going to be an issue. But now it's like you have the pandemic, and then that started to subside. Then Facebook lost all their tracking, and we're getting clients. It's like, I used to spend $1 million a year on Facebook, and I can't do that anymore. So I want to run to Google. I'm like, okay, we'll start there. So there's been 2 compounding issues that have taken Google and just launched it into outer space, which is Facebook losing tracking, and then the pandemic. So this thing, I don't think this thing is going to start to actually physically come down for, if ever, but not for at least 2 years, at least.
Wow. And again, with hybrid working, people are still going to need the online traffic anyway.
Yeah, Amazon loves it too.
Oh God, yeah. Jeff Bezos is now very happy, even happier than years gone by. But yeah, just thank you so much. And look, how can people get in touch with you, John? This is really good. I would love to talk to you sort of outside this call as well. Yeah, about some of the things that we're launching. How can people get in touch with John Moran? Tell us to work with you.
Yeah, right at the homepage of our website is SOL8.com. It's short for Solutions 8. So SOL8.com. We actually have a free action plan form right on the homepage. We ask a bunch of different questions to make sure that the action plan is good for you. But yeah, it's that's the way that we like to do things. It's right through our homepage of our site.
Wonderful. Well, John, look, give us one last parting word so our clients or customers or people that's listening across the globe and thinking, I don't understand half of what you said, but I think I need it. What would you say?
I would say if you have a need for a specific target in your business, I need to get this customer, I need to make this many sales, I need to grow by this multiple, I need to get new product interest out to the masses about my new product here. Google Ads is very poor at just being good for like everything, but it's very, very good at something. And so use it as a tool in order to grow a specific way. That's where Google Ads shines. So when you have that need.
One last question though, I will say to you, when people say to you, well, I spent money on Google Ads and it didn't actually work for me, and I don't know if I want to use it again, what would you say to that person that's listening right now?
Part of our action plan is a deep dive evaluation of your current account. So I personally go in, and I do this like 2 to 3 times a day. I go into a specific campaign and I shoot a Loom video, and I walk through every single area. Your attribution is incorrect. You're not tracking this. You're using the wrong. You're duplicate tracking here. this campaign didn't spend enough money for this long. You removed that product on accident, or this keyword that used to perform is not. You have a negative keyword addition. Your ad preview diagnosis is not running in the area you want. Blah 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 blah. And I basically, what's nice about that is you could take that video and give it to your own ads agency, and they can use it as a tool to make your campaign better. So we don't have any exclusivity. It's not paid. It's a free service that we offer, but hopefully it's enough for them to say, okay, you're smart. I agree with you. I'll hire you. That's kind of our lead in.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Wow. This is so good. This is so good. This is so good. Well, guys, look, you heard it here from John. I tell you, I'm super excited for what his company does for businesses across the world. The focus is on client-specific goals. I love that because it's not a one-size-fits-all. It's client-specific goals. Most companies says everybody that they work with, because everybody's on Google, 70 million profiles. They look at you, they look at you. So you should know that this 6-part Google search, display banner ads, YouTube shopping, Gmail, sponsor promotions, discovery tailored to you. I did take notes. Just looking at that whole aspect about how Google looks at you and how you could serve your clients more by getting the right products in front of the right clientele. And I love what you said. It's not just about your influence or if you've got money. It's industry specific. Are people looking for your product, your brand, your service? Or do you have something existing? Is it already established in the industry? What is the difference? What are you looking for? And why and how it can help you? The action plan, as he says, the results is to show you the numbers so that you can become profitable. Remember, there are 90 billion searches happening every day on Google. We have no choice. If we have a business, we have got to get on Google, and we've got to get Google Ads. So today, go to SOL8.com, that's solutions8.com. Find John on LinkedIn, he's everywhere, and take the action plan. But not only just take the action plan. When you do get your reply, take action, because you can do anything online unless you're willing to take action. So don't forget, go to his website, send him a message. He's here to support you, and he's here to support your entrepreneurial journey. This is Camilita here from the Camilita podcast saying, I'll see you soon. And I will see you at the top.